My sister said my house fit her more, so I let her live in it. 11 days later, she couldn't handle a single bill. I'm Emma. I'm 31. I bought my house the hard way. Overtime, 2 promotions, tight budget months. It's a normal suburban starter home. White door, small yard, a porch light I painted myself. Nothing flashy, everything mine. My sister Jade is 23 and built like a tornado in lip gloss. Parents have always smiled at her chaos and said, "She's young, cut her some slack." They meant well. They meant enabling. I meant responsibility. When I showed them the sold photo, Mom cried, Dad hugged me, and Jade scanned the picture like it was a menu item she didn't order and said without a beat, "Why would you need a house like that?" Then she added, like it was obvious, "It actually fits me more. I have the aesthetic." That sentence was the little spark that started the whole thing. It hit something in me, not anger exactly, but a tired clarity. She wanted the look of a house, the content, the look how adult I am photos. She didn't want the bills, the maintenance, the HOA. So I did something quiet and small and terrible. I asked her, "Do you want it?" She snatched the keys fast enough to make it look practiced. She moved in like she'd been rehearsing for the reveal. If you've ever let a reckless person borrow anything important, you know the soundtrack. First the thrill, then the smell of cheap sanitizer, then the froth of disaster. I walked in the next morning, and the house smelled like coconut lotion and burnt popcorn. A suitcase was flung open like a dropped jaw, clothes spilling, neon signs on the walls reading vibes. A sticky ring of cups on the counter, used energy drink cans under the sink. On the fridge, a note in glitter pen. Borrowed your cups, plus invited friends. Don't freak. Love you, Jay. I stood there a second, then shut the door softly. She wanted the house? Fine. She had the house. 3 days later, a neighbor texted, "Emma, everything okay over there?" Attached, a photo of 3 cars crammed across the lawn like they were trying to perform geometry. Day 4, the HOA letter. The tone is never dramatic until it is, and then it's just numbers and deadlines. Noise complaint. Trash in the wrong bin. Improper parking. Pet waste. We don't even have a dog. Warning, $150 fine. Payable immediately. I forwarded the email to Jade. She replied, "LMAO, they're so sensitive." HOA doesn't have a sense of humor. HOA only has remittance addresses and escalating fees. Friday night, I stopped by to drop off something, and the front door is unlocked. Inside, laughter. Someone in a hat asks, "Is this an Airbnb?" Jade grins and says, "Kinda." My sister doesn't live here much, so yeah. Her friends treat the place like a rentable set. Lights, angles, content. No one asks if it's okay. No one thinks it's my money on the mortgage statement. Mrs. Lopez across the street carries out her trash and squints into the yard, like a person who's just been shown a crime scene. "We thought someone moved in a tornado," she says, and I can't tell if she's joking. Saturday morning, I get a desperate text. "Emma, I need you, please." I go over and the bathroom floor is a tiny lake. The washing machine is moaning. Jade sits wrapped in a towel, mascara streaks down her face. She tells me it exploded. I dig through the filter. A clump of wet, gray disposable wipes clogs the intake like a stuffed animal. She'd been tossing wipes in the washer and the drain like it's a trash can. She looks at me and says, "I don't know how to fix this." Her voice is small in a way it never used to be. Normally, I would phone someone and fix it, or just do it myself. This time, I take a picture of the machine model and send it to a repair shop. Adulting looks like receipts and numbers, not heroics. Over the next week, more notices. 2 new warnings. Another fine. A letter marked urgent. A complaint about unattended trash. Translated, she threw other people's garbage into a neighbor's bin because it was closer. The HOA calls me directly. "Emma, we need to address this immediately." I say, "I know, I'm handling it." Because I do not want to be the person who yells over family breakdowns. I want to be the person who ends them with facts. On the 11th day, Jade texts, "Can you come home? Please, it's bad." I arrive to find letters, unpaid online invoices, a service notice about possible water shutoff, and a printout that says, "Final notice, $450. She's on the floor, surrounded, breath hitching. "Everyone hates me," she says. "HOA hates me. This house hates me." The house doesn't hate you, I think. It only asks for what houses always ask for. Attention, payment, care. She wanted a photo op. She didn't want responsibility. Mom and Dad drive over that night. She's been telling them the story of how the house is being mean, ready for the rescue. Instead, they see the stack of notices, the broken filters, the unpaid fines. Mom goes white. Dad drops the letter like it's hot. Dad looks at Jade and asks plainly, "What did you think would happen?" That question lands. It's not an accusation so much as a reality check. She falters. "I didn't think," she starts and trails off. They've spent years cushioning her. Suddenly, silence fills the room because there's nothing left to cushion with. Jade turns to me with those big, wet eyes. "Em, please, I can't do this. Help me." I sit down across from her and say the thing no one would say before. "You wanted the house because it looked pretty. Homes aren't pretty on their own. They're work. They cost money. They need rules. You didn't sign up for that." She looks like she might argue, but something inside her is softening. Maybe it's shame. Maybe it's the exhaustion of being exposed. I say, "You move out. Today." She blinks. "Today?" Her voice is small. "Yes, today," I say. Not a punishment, a boundary, an education. There's no screaming, no tribal calls to alliances. She nods. We pack up her things quickly. 3 suitcases of clothes, an array of chargers, a sad dog toy she'd borrowed, jewelry she called investments, and a handful of cheap props for photos. Parents stand in the doorway like people who have finally opened their eyes. She asks quietly, "Can I still visit?" Her vulnerability is a thin thread. "Of course," I answer. "But you can't live here." She gets in their car. She doesn't slam the door. She doesn't sob. She's just gone. Not ruined, not victorious. Just a kid who's had to learn something the hard way. HOA fines were paid. I changed the locks. Not out of spite, but to reset boundaries. I called the repair service and filed the disputed charges that could be disputed. I scheduled a neighbor coffee. I painted over vibes. My parents apologized quietly later. Not for loving Jade, but for letting enabling look like support. "We should have set firmer limits," Mom said. "You were right." I let that land. Jade called a week later. She sounded different, tired, quieter. "I'm sorry," she said. "I didn't know." "Fine," I said. "Then show me. Start small. Help me mow the lawn this Saturday." She did. She showed up with a half-hearted smile and stayed. The first hour she watered in clumsy circles, but by the second hour she was sweating and laughing at a joke a neighbor made. It wasn't immediate redemption. It was a start. She wanted the house because it looked good on her. Turns out responsibility isn't an accessory you can borrow for Instagram. You either learn to hold it or you hand it back. She handed it back.